my friend, it's Pat Sloan, and it is July, happy July, July 1st here. Thank you for joining me again. Oh, Monday, July 1st, here we go. All right, you ready? You're ready. First thing, it is Postage Stamp Day. And of course, I think they mean like the kind you put on a letter. But we're quilters, and so we think of postage stamp quilts as something entirely different. They would be quilts very similar to this, which are just usually squares. And I think, though, the definition is generally a smaller square and nothing repeats. I think those might be more what a traditional postage stamp you might think of. But that doesn't mean that we have to be that traditional. So this, let me show you this. This is a postage stamp quilt that I did some pieces of it, and then just the top. I can't find a picture of the full quilt. Well, that is the full quilt, but not finished. I did finish it, and it was a baby quilt. But this is these type of blocks, but much tinier squares done as a square unit, like this, put like this, like on point. And it's a pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop, and I did their quilt along when they had this, and I used tiny little squares, and it was so fun to work with that. And when I was doing getting all those scrappy blocks out, I found a few pieces from that quilt in those scrap blocks. I thought that was so fun. So that was obviously the same year I did that. I was like 3 years ago. And this quilt I actually gave to my sister-in-law's daughter for her second baby. So it was a baby quilt, and it was so fun. So that's a postage stamp quilt. You can have it just side by side, which is a little bit more traditional, or anything with a lot of little squares. It is also our color of the month. Like, I like to pick a color of the month so that we share quilts that meet that criteria. Of course, share your postage stamp quilts because we want to see that. But color of the month is purple, dark purple. So we want to go, there's all different, I got to pick 12 colors. So, dark purple for this month. So here is mine. I'm going to call this dark purple because I use those scrap blocks. So it's like scrap block, for me right now. I'm living the scrap blocks again. So I took my purple from my Harmony, my wide back, which here, the Harmony wide back, and I used it as half of a half square triangle. So they're big half square triangles set in what is a traditionally called a barn raising setting. And so that is what I did with it. And then I added this inner border. So there you can see them, and there is a swirl pattern for those of you who like to see the pattern. It is a swirl. See there? Don't see it. Okay, so that's my purple quilt. I also got back my March block a day. Oh my goodness, so excited, and everything is done on it. So I have the hanging sleeve on and stitched. I have the label on and stitched. And it's all quilted in this super cool grid. This grid is just amazing. So let me show you that. Here's the backings. Once again, my Harmony wide back, which has quite a few colors, so you can find something that works for you. Let's see, can we see it? I think we can see it pretty well here. Ta-da! Look at that grid. It is so cool. That grid just turned out so cool on this quilt. So that's another finish. That is from this is from my, as soon as it comes in from the long armor, get it finished. From the spa, comes back from the spa, finish it. So that is what this is. I do have to pick another one off of my shelf so that I can try to get the rest of them. I think there's like eight of them to do, and like 5 of them are bigger. So I need to do one of those this week, maybe 2. That really would be like really super good to get those done. So that's another thing on my agenda. Want to have a reminder for you that C&T Publishing is running an Embroidery Extravaganza. So it's a set of online classes in August. And I want to remind you that you can sign up. You can get $20 off with my coupon, right? Yes. So you want to do that, and with my code, use my link, use my code, and get a discount. And their classes are always wonderful. You can watch them again afterwards, particularly if you can't fit them all in when the event actually runs. So I want to be sure you get in on that. Okay, let's talk first about let's talk about solids. Let's talk about solids, because I really don't use them very much, but, okay. So on the Liberty box, which may already be sold now, but there's still panels and there's still fabrics. You can buy and there's a pattern that's similar to this, not the same one, but Lila Boutique did a pattern using the panel, which is similar. So I'll link you down to the Old Glory fabric page, and you can see what's still available. But what I need is 2 1/3 yards, and that's with, see, there's a wide border on here. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. Maybe we'll see. But they're using solids for this, which is great. Solid. So I want to just talk about the thoughts on solids and what I have for solids. So first, thoughts. Tell me in the comments here. Tell me in the comments at YouTube. Do you use solids? How often? Do you collect them? Because there's many different companies that put out solids, so you can get a wide variety of shades of solids. But first, let me tell you what I did. A few years back now, I don't know, maybe close to 10 years ago, I decided that I really didn't have a lot of solids. I don't use them very much, but I would like to have a collection of them because they're more economical. So if I want to do 2 1/3 yards of background in a solid, it will cost me less than a printed fabric. It's just the way it is, because solids, you don't have to set up dyes and all those kind of things for it, prints and stuff. It's just the weave is a color, so it's more economical. It is less expensive per yard than your prints. So I thought it would be really good to, and then if I have them on hand, I can try working them in. So how's that gone? I don't work them in very much. I generally use them more like as a background, and occasionally I will work them in. I did one with a quilt along with my birdsong fabric, and I did use a lot of solids for that because I wanted to work with them. But it's just not my go-to, because I much prefer a print. It's something that, even if it's more tone on tone like that you still have some sort of design. That's just what I prefer. But I did collect some, and I have quite a nice collection. I got them when they were on sale, and then I could get maybe a couple yards. A couple of them I got like a lot of yards. And so I thought we would just take a look at what I have. I have 2 big picnic baskets. I think the other one is slightly bigger than this one. This is a Longaberger large picnic, for those of you who know the size of that. It's basically a large picnic basket size of what you find for most things. It's about as wide as my seat. And this one is mostly filled with the lights. So I have got the whites, the off-whites, because there's different shades. So if I'm trying to match this panel, like this panel here for the Land of Liberty, that guy, right? It is more white than cream. So like if you look at this, you can definitely see that is a more ivory, and that's not the right color. But here is more white. It's probably a little whiter white. This maybe is a little bit more grayed down white. They tell you what color to use, but I'm not buying any. I'm going to use what I have in here. So, like, is that one slightly better? No, see, this is actually more grayed. It is more grayed, but this is what I'm, there, look at that. Maybe that's a better one. And it doesn't matter for me. I don't have to have it the exact color. This one's more white. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. I'm going to use that one. So it's a little bit more grayed down, and I think it will blend really, really nicely. But I have another bag. I have another bin of solids in the other room. So let me go get it. So this basket is a little bigger. This is a different style picnic basket, a vintage picnic basket, and they work really well for things. It's got kind of a funky hinge. I don't know, do any of you have this kind where it's like the hinge is like partially in rather than on the back? So it's different. And in here I do have that periodically Moda and other companies will make these swatch sets, and so I keep those in there. This is the solids and this is the grunge. I don't believe they're available right now, but you might be able to purchase them on Etsy or eBay from a reseller. And so in here is what I got. So sometimes I'm smart and will mark it like that guy, and I put them in here. I guess I hadn't put that one away because it's tight, but I put them by color. So I collected up colors, and there was a point in time, which I don't have it anymore because I used a lot of it, but there was this funky peach that I got, and if you've been here a while, you remember me using that for a few things, and then I believe I just gifted the rest of it at some point because I must have bought like 10 yards. But I just would buy maybe 3 yards, maybe 4 yards of a solid, particularly when they're on sale. And that way I now have this that I can use, so that if I am doing something where I just want to add some pink and this pink works, then that is great. So that, and for me right now, it's kind of, I have a lot of teal in here and a lot of, you know, the teal turquoise color family here on the end that goes all the way back. So, you know, from this part back, I have those colors. So I really, really do need to use those for something. Find something I can use it with. Also, these panels came out at one point. Moda had these panels. I know a bunch of you bought those. And so if you didn't have like the these swatch cards, this was basically the swatches printed for the solids. And so I keep that in there too. And then for, let's see, I have charm packs for some of the, this is a crossweave charm pack, which is Benartex, and then I have a speckled, which is Ruby Society. So that's how I've got everything pretty much handled. So I am super curious about how you use solids. I know that some people use lots of solids, and that is fantastic. I'm just always sort of curious about it. I like to hear how you think about things. And to finish up this guy, I need to pick a fabric for right here because I didn't buy the finishing kit. And so I looked at my blue fabric, and I think I showed you just briefly what I had found. And these are my options that I have enough of. And I think I'm going to go with this one because I just really love this with the little black in it. See that? See that little black in there and that on point? So that's the one I'm going to go with because this is the one that I need to cut next. You can see I got our Block Wednesday strips all sewn together. They're up there. And there's the wonky block from the book tour. Remember to enter for the book tour. We're doing a giveaway, and that's tomorrow. I picked somebody at 6 p.m. on Tuesday evening Eastern time. So get in on that. And so I'm going to do this. That's on the high agenda to do that. Also, I have to baste the Halloween, the little spooky ghost, and Glenda the ghost and Eddie the vampire. Okay, the other thing is for the scrappy blocks. I am so excited because I decided to go ahead and get everything set up. I'm being really lazy rolling around on my chair. So here's the book, and there's the block, right, that I did last week on Thursday. Okay, so what did I do? I decided to figure out how many I needed and went about getting it all set up, and I filmed that for you. So let's take a look. So I cleaned up all the things from showing you this video last Thursday, and I thought, you know what, rather than just putting those things in the drawer to deal with them another time, it would not take me that long to cut the 10-inch squares from both the fabric and the blocks. And then that is all ready, because then it's easy. All I have to do is pull out 2 backgrounds and 2 blocks. So yeah, and remember, I'm doing the Don Quixote, this guy. That's the one. All right, I have the blue, and I took a look at what I have, and there is enough plus a little bit more, because the block was, I have it back, I put it up here. See the block? There's mine, done with the 10-inch squares versus Shannon and Jason wrote it for 6-inch squares. But because I have big pieces of these scrap blocks, I wanted a bigger square. So I might do these with a sashing someday, maybe a different color sashing, maybe it would be red. I think that might be kind of fun. But I'm going to keep whatever is left of this with the blocks in the drawer over there, like I showed you last Thursday. So first, what I will do is go ahead and cut all of these into 10-inch squares. I already have one, and so that means I have 9. I'm going to be doing 9 blocks, and 1 is already done. So that means I have 8 blocks times 2, which is 16. So I need 16 of these background and then 16 of these to make 9 of the Don Quixote blocks in this size, which this size is 17. I ended up 17 inches cut, 16.5-inch finished blocks. So the nice big size blocks, if I do 9, maybe someday I'll do 12. I don't think I even have enough of this to do 12, but if there is, I know, I'm pretty sure I checked it, it was just like I have just a little bit more. So I'm gonna go for 9, and what's, you know, and then it's all gonna go back in the drawer, but I'm gonna get everything cut. So I'll do this first, and then I'll show you how the stacks look. Okay, I decided let's do 3 by 4. That's 12 blocks versus 9 blocks, which means I need a little bit more, and I'm just 1 shy of a full of one of the squares for the background. And this is all I have left. From I cut everything, cut everything but 1 10-inch square, and this is like 8 across here. So what I'm going to do is cut an 8-inch square, and then enough like a 2.5, and then I'll trim it to 10. And so it'll have a seam, but that's okay, because depending on where the seam is, it might actually get trimmed out or be right close to things, and it won't even really matter. So I'm going to do that, and then I will go through the scrap blocks, and I will get 11 of those done, since I already have, well, not 11, I have to, do I have, let me check that count. Hold on. Okay, no, I'm right. So I'm going to do 12 blocks, 1 is already done. So each block I need 2 background and 2 scrappy blocks. So I have to do 11 more blocks. So it's 11 times 2, so I need 22 of the patchwork. So I've got all but 1 of these, and then I have to trim down 22 of these and go into my, I might have to go in and get another block or 2 of those too, but that's okay. This is cool. I'm really excited to have them all cut into the 10-inch squares with the book. I'll put Shannon and Jason's book with it. Then I know exactly what I'm doing. I can just pull out 2 backgrounds, 2 patchwork blocks, and make one of these every so often and get 12 of them done. That'll make a super nice lap quilt. Probably put sashing and a border to expand it out a little bit. That'll be so fun. It'll use up all of those scrap blocks. 24 scrap blocks is what it'll use up. Super cool. All right, let me work a little bit more. This stack is all done for 10-inch squares, and they worked out. I have this that I trimmed off, maybe a bit more, a few strips like that that are kind of small to use to add on, but that one might work. And then this set of blocks were all too small. Some were really too small, like this one's it's like a rectangle, and so it's quite a bit smaller, and same with that one. Like you can even see, even that length is quite a bit smaller. And so I'm going to hunt around for a few bigger blocks so that I don't have to build these up as much, but these that are close, I'll just show you what that looks like, because I need to figure out, like, do I sew something on 2 sides, or is one side only needed? Like on here, 2 sides. I'm 10 to 10, and up at that top there, it is, I need like 1/4 of an inch, and then over here, once I trim it, it's going to be like 1/2 an inch. So like here, I need to trim. This is all raggy, so I first have to trim it. Now I've got this side up here, you know, I need to trim them so I can add something to them. And let me just, I put the straight line where I've already trimmed, cut off all the raggy stuff, and then I will go ahead and add to it. So I've got to add to 2 sides to get this one up to 10 inches. And all of these are that same way. They probably need 2. And then this group is really small, this group here. So I'm going to see if I can find some bigger blocks, maybe even to replace some of these, some bigger blocks. So I just don't have to build them out so much. And I've already got a set of strips here, and I got some yellow for this one to build them out. So I'm going to go see what else I can find. I just love the fact that this is all done now. I thought, why should I just stick it in the drawer and not get it into a mode that I can use? So now I can just, here's the one I had to sew together. See the seam? But that is just going to be, it's going to be fine. It's really not going, heck, these are all scrappy. So it is just going to be so fun to work on these. Look. Look, 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 look. Here's the one that had some of the baby, that quilt that I did, the baby quilt from the Postage Stamp. There is a strip of it. These are all, these on the outside are all from that project. Great memories, right? And then I had a bit of extra stuff, and I sewed it up. So I had to expand a bunch of the blocks, and I used it to sew up and get them out to the bigger size. And then there was still a little bit left, so I went in my scrap bag and got a few chunks, sewed those together, put the strips around, and then I have one more to put it back in the drawer to use for another day, All right, my friend. So I want to jump in here. This video was filmed about a week ago, so I have some things that are more pertinent to right now that I want to share with you. A lot of my videos right now are filmed several days in advance. That way it gives me a little bit of flexibility to do things that I want to do outside of my work. So anyway, that I got a couple things in the mail I want to share with you. The first was from our sweet friend Elaine in Pennsylvania. Look at this pretty card. And then she sent me some yellow squares for that project that's on the wall. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Elaine. And she saw a red polka dot tea towel for me. Look at this. Thank you. Mwah. Love, love, love red polka dots. And our friend, let's see, who do we got here? We have Stacy in Alaska. So she sent a card, and she said that she heard a few of you have been sending me some state fabric, and so she sent me a piece of Alaska fabric. This is a batik. Is it we got, like, is it tossed? It looks like some, yeah, it looks like the designs are sort of all different directions, but look at that. So I am getting a few. I have gathered them up. I might have 6 states so far. So I will do something next week and show you this. I have 2 more things in this little insert. One is that Kate Spain, who is the awesome designer who designs all of my t-shirts and mugs and notebooks and stuff, and she runs the store. So Kate, she sent me this in the card along. So she said a lot of you wrote and asked for a tank top version of the sparkler, or the fireworks. So what is it called? Firecracker, the firecracker. So she did a t-shirt version, and I'm not, like a tank top. I'm sorry, she did a tank top version of the t-shirt. And she said that the arms are nice and loose. I'm not like a tank top person myself, but she said this is really high quality, and it fits really nice. It's not too tight or anything under the arms. So I am going to give this away. So you can go to my website today, and I will give this t-shirt away. It is a large, and so you can see in front of me, It's probably about my size. And then I'm going to sweeten that pot with the large t-shirt, and I'm going to put my porch swing jelly roll in there. So you can go over there and grab, maybe grab it. It's going to be a giveaway, so you only got a few days. I think I might pull a name on Friday, so that'll be just a few days. Go over there and enter at my website today. And then the last thing is that I went to the Virginia Quilt Museum's grand reopening at the Mill in Dayton, Virginia, just 7 miles down the road from the old museum, where they relocated everything. And Greg and I went just as quilters. We walked around. I took some pictures, took a couple little videos. And so on Monday's video, next Monday, I will have a little slideshow, a little, tell you what I'm looking at and what I saw. And so it was absolutely fantastic. There was such an amazing turnout of people, so many people. It was just heartwarming. I'm so thrilled that you have been supporting the Virginia Quilt Museum. We must support our quilt museums because we are the ones who care the most about them. And so if you would like to donate to the museum, I've put a link below so that you may do that. You may just go ahead and become a member and do that, which is basically a donation as well. So that's good. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay, my friend, this was fun. Be sure you're going to share your postage stamp quilts today, and you're going to share your dark purple quilts for the color of the month if you have a dark purple quilt. And I just have a feeling there's going to be a lot of those. So go over to Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook, and I can't wait to see them. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.